Hey traders, hope you're having a good Friday. Just wanted to look at Bitcoin zoomed out on the log scale first, but also want to talk about linear scale. So making an adjustment, just talking to Laura Lee, brainstorming whatever, and anchoring, including the Adam and Eve double bottom within the parameters of the channel. This is the new anchor point. One and then two on the bottom, and then three on the top. And choosing this top point here because this was the impulse, right? This was the bottom, and now we know that. But this ain't. I mean, this impulse here is what really ushered it all in. Of course, we had that really nice Gartley breakout, to the upside, but really choosing this because after we made this move, we never made a lower low again, right? Everything was lower lows until this point, and then it all changed. So that is the reasoning for using that. And when you use that as a third anchor point, you can see you get some nice heartline touches, 75 touch points, right? Lots of upside potential if market participants wanted it to go higher, though we don't really know yet. We're still kind of, we have broken out above our resistance, but we're just barely above it right now. And so the discussion I was having with him is really just about log scale versus linear scale. And it's like looking at both. Nothing wrong with that. And I was getting confused because I was looking only at it in log, and he had his chart in linear. And so when you take it out of log and put it in linear, I think we have the same anchor point. Yes, same anchor point on the top, but just now you have this is a bottom point, another one. Really have like 3 touch points down here. And as you can see, we were unable. We did break it, but unable to sustain prices ever above it, right? Immediately after breaking out, you closed and reversed, and then you rallied to back test it to confirm that you're still inside before dumping. And now we just made the adjustments. So you get maybe even more heartline touches in linear scale here. So something Lolly was talking about is, let's see, saying, trading and really analyzing. It's not engineering. It's not just art. It's both, right? And when you look at the emotional and psychological side, it's super counterintuitive. Humans were built to avoid risk, not take it. So it takes, some trial and error, right? When you're analyzing, especially when you're talking about trend analysis, to really just mess around log scale, linear scale, see what works best. Sometimes you cut wicks. Sometimes you use candle closes only. You use what makes the most sense. And sometimes when you're charting and it doesn't line up within the 25, 50, 75, the equidistant channel, then maybe try it anchoring from another point, right? So just wanted to talk about the difference, looking at it in linear scale, log scale. Always good to mess around with both. For me, I'm digging log scale just right now, just based on the fact that the exponential growth that we've seen, right? $3,000, $4,000, all the way up to nearly $14,000 in less than a year. 6-month periods, less than 6. I guess it was about 6 months, going on 7 months. No, really, okay, we're in freaking August now. So, all right, we'll say like 7 to 8 months. We've, gone up a lot. So much that you could definitely say log scale is warranted, but just wanted to show the augmented anchor point on the bottom side. So as you can see it here. All right. So let's go to, I want to look at another chart. And this is just Coinbase, what we always been looking at, but I anchored differently. I anchored from the bottom, not the top this time. And what I got was no breakout, not yet. Just formed a pennant, which is inherently bullish. In the context where we had a bullish impulse, you're consolidating. And so would like to see a break to the upside, but we know that no breakout in linear scale. But in log scale, we have broken out. And let me show you. Remember, log scale is used on percentage gains and losses, not price. So devil's advocate here, right? If you go from nearly $14,000 all the way down to $9,000, is that exponential losses? And if you're looking at this in log scale and you also have a channel plotted here, you've still broken out, right? So things to think about. Definitely things to think about. What's the best? Some really, I mean, you got some decent touch points here in log scale. And what I really love about log scale here is the fact that we have 2 on the bottom and then 2 on the top. They line up perfectly, and you can see the breakout that is occurring right now. And if you did break out, if we were to run the upside, clearly you've got resistance at 13,000, 13,868. Then looking left, you can clearly see we're back testing a little overhead resistance zone as support now. And the longer you stay above this, the better. When you break a resistance, especially after a move up like this, when you break it and you hold long enough, what do? You reset your oscillators. We're back to 50 now on the 4-hour. On the daily, Bitcoin is at 61. So that's like bullish. That's like bullish territory for an RSI. That's where you want to be, especially if you're wanting to see Bitcoin run to the upside. It's going to have plenty of room to run. So, though I understand people bearish because where we are, right? Especially looking at it in linear scale where we haven't broken out yet. But, I mean, come on. Take heed of the fact that we're showing hidden bullish divergence on the RSI and MACD on the 4-hour. On the daily, also showing hidden bullish divergence. And we've been showing hidden bullish divergence since April. I mean, it really started, though, in June, right? On the higher lows. So, remember, I get the downtrend you're in, or maybe you were in, and now you're breaking out, and you're, again, trying to break. You've broken overhead resistance, you're holding above it. You got to think that, all right, we've been correcting. We corrected for like 6 weeks, but after like a 7 to 8 month uptrend. So you're clearly still bullish right now. Like the trend is still bullish. You're just doing some downside consolidation, which is good, man. Like that's stuff that I don't think we ever really got on Bitcoin much. I mean, you got it sometimes, but like, look, huge impulses. Like this is just randomly in April 2017, right? From May, 3K to August, right? May to August, you didn't make all-time highs again, right? So really it was like June to August, right? So you went through a period of consolidation, correction. You went through correction, right? Pulled back, rallied again. So, this is normal stuff you see in uptrends. Long sustained uptrends, you're going to get corrections. This one lasted like 6 weeks. And we're soon going to find out if the correction's over and this uptrend is going to continue. And if it does continue, we've got our log scale channel set up to see where we could run next, right? Heart lines up at like 15K roughly. All right. Going to have to break 12,800 though. You know that. And the reason why we stalled these 2 times is because of the overhead resistance that, from January 21st, 2018. That will be tested. If you can ever break that, which we failed twice, 3rd time's a charm maybe, right? If we can break that, there is no real resistance. I mean, seriously, until like 16,200 or so. So, I understand why people might be bearish here. It is not the clearest stuff going on in the world. Like it wasn't like down here where we had weekly bullish divergence, daily bullish divergence, 4-hour bullish divergence, a double bottom, the bullish Gartley, a falling wedge. It was just there were so many coinciding variables here. It was impossible to ignore. But many people did, or that just shows that many people didn't know how to analyze and read the charts. Remember, we're going to 1,500, man. Right now, dude, don't invest in Bitcoin. Don't do it, dude. Trade setup. Let's go. All right. So we'll see if this trend can continue with the new anchor points. Hope you enjoyed this drawn out static video. If you did, hit that like button, that bell, that sub. Please leave a comment in the description below. I'll be live in a little while. So until next time, respect the TA.